In 2024, we used artificial intelligence for basic generation tasks, like pressing a button to draft a polite email to a client. By 2025, that usage evolved. We started relying on AI for passive summarization, letting it transcribe our hour-long meetings and pull out the action items while we watched. This diagram shows the leap we are making in 2026. We are moving off that linear path of manual prompting and into a network of autonomous agents. Organizations are no longer clicking generate. They are officially hiring digital workers. Look at how these autonomous nodes snap directly into the traditional organizational pyramid. The conversations inside boardrooms have shifted. Leaders are dropping the phrase AI adoption and are instead talking about workforce composition. This timeline represents a structural reorganization of the company itself. There is an assumption that dropping an autonomous agent into a clunky, outdated human workflow will automatically smooth out the kinks. Handing a dysfunctional process to an agent results in a broken workflow that executes with perfect consistency and rapid scalability. This diagram illustrates the classic computer science rule of garbage in, garbage out. When an agent takes over, that single flawed input multiplies through the pipeline and exits as hundreds of identical errors, running at 10 times the normal speed. The greatest risk of 2026 lies in the massive scale automation of broken systems. To understand why this happens, we have to look at how these agents operate. The first major difference is persistent contextual memory. Typical chatbots wipe their session memory clean the moment you close the browser tab, but these agents remember. The central hub absorbs specific data streams, business priorities, past decisions, and constraints, carrying them forward. Every interaction builds on context. Second is autonomous decisioning. At a timeline fork, it independently routes data, handling exceptions without a human gatekeeper. These routing choices and prioritization calls are actively migrating out of human support queues and directly into these autonomous pipelines. Gartner, a major technological research and consulting firm, projects a steep trajectory for this trend. Their data indicates a significant share of routine business decisions will be fully delegated to agents within this decade. Because these agents possess both memory and autonomy, they function as independent workers. If the existing machine is flawed, plugging an independent worker into it will only execute those flaws with greater efficiency. Supporting these autonomous workers requires a third technical pillar, the agentic infrastructure stack. Orchestration layers and agentic middleware create an operational environment for the digital workforce. Orchestration coordinates multiple AI tasks, while middleware connects those agents directly to your existing databases. Think of this infrastructure as a massive digital factory floor, where the workforce operates continuously, 24 hours a day, without ever stopping. In a physical factory, if the assembly line itself is poorly designed, the robotic arms will just produce scrap metal at an industrial scale. The digital factory follows the exact same rule. The organizations seeing success right now are taking a specific approach. They redesign their workflows to be agent native before they ever deploy an autonomous worker. A traditional standard operating procedure, or SOP, is a set of step-by-step instructions written specifically for a human to read and interpret. An agent-native approach requires different structures. Notice the streamlined inputs and continuous machine-to-machine handoffs in this agent-native design. Data flows cleanly between agents. Look at how exception pathways escalate out of the machine loop. Humans no longer execute routine manual steps. They manage exceptions and provide high-level oversight. Operational success comes down to architecting the system around the unique memory and speed capabilities of the agent, rather than forcing the agent to read an instruction manual written for a human. The traditional organizational chart is actively being redrawn in boardrooms right now. This image contrasts the old top-down corporate hierarchy with the new interwoven network. Here, human employees and autonomous agents share equal structural weight and accountability. This leaves a definitive question for anyone scaling a business today. Are you building tools for your human employees to operate, or leading a digital department? The leaders who grasp the distinction between those two paths today are the ones who will define what corporate architecture looks like tomorrow.